How are you?
Very well, thank you. Really, it's interesting to go back and deal with this record and look at this record and get sort of inside of it and revisit it. So it's been really interesting. It's been interesting, but good. Thank you, and I hope you're well too.
No, I am. Thank you for asking.
Excellent.
So you guys are getting ready to release your debut album, We Care a Lot.
Yes, ma'am.
So what is the reason behind this release?
Well, really, there's a couple of them, and there's some business involved, and then there's also the personal involved also. And the business element is this: that record's been out of print for 20 years, literally. Nobody's put it out for 20 years, and there's people out there that have taken illegitimate copies of it and made their own copies, and they're putting it out, so it's inferior, and that really kind of pissed us off. Because number one, they're not authorized to do so, and number two, it doesn't sound good. So that's one reason of the business. The second reason of the business is just the simple fact that the woman that put that record out in the first place was really honest, and she said, when I'm done, I'm going to give it back to you, and you can do what you want with it, which in those days, nobody did that. It was unheard of. It was unheard of for the artist to actually control their music. Now it happens a little more. Madonna was, I think, the first one to have her own label like that, through a major. I mean, Led Zeppelin did it back in the day, but not that. It's more common now for the artists to get their music back. So we have that music, and we have the tapes. So, our bass player was able to go and mix 4 songs. Now with his experience, with Matt Wallace's experience, he was able to mix that in modern technology, and make it sound amazing. So, that's the reason for that. It's just we have a good opportunity here to, to contribute something to it. We have the original album as it comes out in the package, and then the next record that's with it, is 4 songs mixed in a modern style from the original tapes, and some live shows that I own that nobody's ever heard. But by far the earliest recorded Faith No More that's going to come out. And, so it's really good. It's a really nice, it's a nice package, to kind of explain to people where we were at that time. So I hope that's the best answer. I hope I didn't forget anything, but we're not really into doing stuff like that if there's no reason to do it. But to me and to all of us, there's a lot of really good reasons to do this. And the remix songs, they sound fantastic. I mean, they just sound fantastic. That's what I'm most excited about, is those remix songs that Bill and Matt Wallace remixed. They really sound good.
Oh, awesome. And
yeah.
How is it? Sorry,
go ahead. No, please.
Oh, so how is it that after someone got apart, the band just got back together and they're doing so many things again? Because you went back to touring, releasing on a CD. Yeah.
Well, it for us, we really never expected it. Again, I was pretty happy playing with Ozzy, and I think everybody else clearly had been doing all their stuff. We didn't do too much. We decided we would do some shows, and the some shows felt good. So we did some more shows. And when we did some more shows, we realized that, again, it was going to have to either be that's enough and we're done with nostalgia, or we're going to have something, that's worthwhile saying to go into the future. We felt that playing shows, just doing what we have done in the past, that's fine, but you can only go so far with that. And we weren't going to become, sort of a nostalgic act or whatever you call it. So that's where the record came in. The record was fun to do. We enjoyed it. It was very rewarding for all of us, emotionally, musically, personally, creatively, all that. It was great. It was a good experience for all of us. So we did that, Then we did some shows on the record, and that felt good too. So that's where we are now. Is just, I guess the short answer is we took it one step at a time and didn't do too much. And we felt that as we did things along each step of the way, if we didn't like it, we all agreed that we would stop. And it felt really good to make new music, and it felt really good to play on stage with each other. And so we did that. This is a little different because right now we're not doing anything. We're in between things, Faith No More, and whatever we do in the future will be in the future. But, this is just an opportunity that we had, to sort of treat this record, with some respect and because we had the master tape. I mean, the master tape is the most important thing. We had the master tape, so we were able to really, take good care of this record. So that was the opportunity we had. But yeah, I never expected that we would do so many things. I never expected the band would even get back together again. But it's awesome, and we all get along super great now. I mean, it's important for me to recognize that, while we're talking about, Faith No More's debut album that came out in 1985, it's important for me to say Mike Patton is the singer of Faith No More today and tomorrow. This is not, changing anything like that. But it's also important, I think, for people to, if they want to, be able to sort of hear what we were up to, on our very first record as we were figuring out, who we were and figuring out what we do. It's a nice piece of the puzzle, for people who know, who we are now, to maybe see where we came from. That's the best way to describe it. You know what I mean? It describes where we came from.
Cool. So many Vixes, you were just talking about, it was really well received by fans and critics alike. When you guys decided to put out a new album, were you expecting it to do so well?
I got to be honest, as far as in the public, there's no way of knowing. You can never predict that. But as far as us and we go, we loved it. I mean, we loved this record. We worked, for a couple of years on it and really felt that it was exactly what we wanted to do. So you hope that it does well. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like when you prepare that meal for the people that you really care about, and you put it on the table, you say, well, I've done everything that I can do. I've done the best that I can do to put this, in the best possible way I can put it. But then they got to eat it. And if they don't like it, they don't like it. You just can't, you know what I'm saying? You can't predict that. And Faith No More has never been a band to predict that or try to tailor their music to what they think people will like. To us, that's death. That's why we never did any We Care a Lot after We Care a Lot. We never did Epic after Epic, and we never did Midlife Crisis after Midlife, or you go down the line and the songs that people remember. We just have one of those. We never tried to duplicate that. So, it's humbling. I'm very, very, very grateful and very thankful that that people have responded well to it. But we put everything we had into it, and you certainly, when you do something like that, you certainly hope that people respond to it. Yeah. So it's awesome. I mean, I'm very, again, humbled and grateful about it.
Mm-hmm. And did it serve you to get you guys motivated to perhaps put out another album soon, like with a shorter period of time?
I mean, my opinion, and I'm not basing it on any conversations with the band, it's just my individual opinions. Yeah, I'd love to. I think it'd be great because I think we proved to ourselves that we can make, music in 2015 that's worthwhile and to our standards, to people in the world, that's useful to them. And so I would hope so, but I don't have any inside information to tell you, that we're doing this or that. We're not. But having said that, we're all in contact and we all talk to each other. And nobody's going anywhere. We're all good. Mike Patton, Roddy, Bill, Mike, and John, myself and John, we're all good. There's nothing bad going on. So, if it comes time to do that, we will. And I hope we do. Yes, absolutely. Do I hope we do? Yes. Do I think we will? Yeah, I think probably, but I don't know. You never know. So, I know Bill was at the Metal Hammer Awards in London a couple of weeks ago, and he said the exact same thing. He said, when we have something new to say, we're going to say it. Until then, we're not going to get out there and sort of waste everybody's time rehashing the past. We're not going to do that. But when we have something new to say, we will probably say it, and that's the best you can hope for. So that's what I would say about that. That's pretty awesome.
Awesome. Well, and the band was formed in like 1979, which is almost 40 years ago.
Yeah, a little bit after that. Bit after that. I'm thinking 82 maybe.
Oh, okay. Because you guys have experienced.
But I hear you.
You guys have experienced everything from cassette tapes to CDs, Napster, the advent of social media. How has this journey been? Because you've seen everything.
That's the thing. It's like, it's if you think about it in those terms, it makes you tired. It's like, wow, so many miles. So much happened. I mean, you think about the big moments when records kind of left and CDs came along, and CDs were the biggest thing. And we were on stage in Berlin the night that the wall came down in Berlin, which is pretty crazy. And all those things in between. Yeah, what a journey. What an incredible experience. But the one thing that's really remained consistent with us is that we give you our best musically, on stage and also on record. We give you our best. We don't want to waste our time or anybody else's time, sort of fooling around in that way and not giving you our best. So, I think those years that have gone, it's 35 years or whatever it is. Hopefully we've gotten a little bit better at what we do. Hopefully we've gotten a little more proficient and skilled, at what we do. And it's not diminished my love of playing in Faith No More or my love of playing music one bit. If anything, I love more now than what I do than I did even then. And that would be hard to do. But yeah, so I feel like we've really kind of done it right. We've done it right to where we haven't done too many horrible things that we cringe about. Looking back on them, and I feel that we've kind of really given our best, and that's the best you can hope for, that you've given your best, and that, after that, if people appreciate it, that's awesome. If people don't appreciate, that's okay too. So, but yeah, you're right. From CDs, from cassettes, from albums to MP3s and streaming, it's like, it's really changed. It's really, really, really changed. But, I would just hopefully say we're Faith No More. We're really honest, and we give you passionate music. We give you music from our heart, and that's what we do,
Mm-hmm.
So.
And Faith No More is known to have influenced many greatest artists over time, like as Nirvana, Slipknot, Metallica, Guns N' Roses. There's just like a few of the bands that have mentioned your importance and influence on them.
Oh, God.
How does it feel to know that you're part of such an amazing legacy?
I don't think about it. I mean, any of those bands that you just mentioned, I mean, I consider myself honored that I had seen them play and known them a little bit, so I just feel like if we're amongst, our peers, we're in a good place, and look, no band has ever been influenced by just one band. So to say, it's just Faith No More did that, it's like, maybe not. You know what I mean? It's like we're all out there, kind of swimming around, and if I swim a certain way and somebody sees it and he wants to try to swim like that, that's fine. But hey, we're all influenced by somebody. It's like this nonsense that's going on in America now with the politics. It's like, look, dude, everybody's from somewhere, right? Everybody comes from somewhere. Get over yourself. Come on, let's work together here. Let's you know what I mean? And that's really true, I think, There's so many great bands that Faith No More were influenced by, and so that we take something that inspired us and nail it together in a way that maybe people didn't expect, and that might influence somebody else to nail together something, that people didn't expect, that's awesome. That's the beauty of music, and that's way bigger than somebody with a name like me or anybody with a name like a band. That's you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's bigger. That's way bigger than people. That's that continuum. That's that timeline. Where Jimi Hendrix got influenced by Robert Johnson. And Stevie Ray Vaughan got influenced by Jimi Hendrix, you know, and then now, you know, what's that dude, Derek, Government Mule, Warren Haynes got influenced, you know, by Stevie Ray. You know what I'm saying? It's step by step. And that's what's awesome about it. You know, Faith No More was influenced by Killing Joke. You know, I was influenced in my life personally by Black Sabbath, you know, and Hendrix, you know, and you know, it just, you know, our bass player was hugely influenced by everything from the Germs to the Buzzcocks, you know, and we all got influenced by Run DMC. We listened to a ton of like dancehall dub reggae back in the early days with Yellow Man and Burning Spear, and you know, there's so much music out there, you know, everybody's influenced by something. And then you talk about Mike Patton. Oh my God, you know, what hasn't influenced him? You know, and that's the way it should be. So
yeah.
If anybody says I influence or my, and I don't take it personally, if anybody says my band influenced them, I say thank you. You know, it's an honor. Do something good and influence somebody else. You know what I mean? Pass it along. So, you know, I try not to take any of that stuff too serious, because then you get ego and you get weird. And Faith No More is not an ego band. I'm sure you can probably tell that. You know, we make fun of ourselves just as much as we, you know, make passionate music. I mean, we try to be honest, you know, and I really mean that, you know. The rock star myth, you know, the myth of the rock star, you know, to us it doesn't apply. You know, that's not what it's about.
And what is next for Faith No More? Do you guys have anything else lined up besides the re-release?
It's a good question. Right now we don't. Right now we're just doing, you know, what do you say, clearing our heads, doing other things, you know, and again, with us in this age, at this time, that's really important, because it's like we're not going to do anything. We're not going to come and take people's time up until we have something to say. And will that happen? I think it will. Yeah, I do. I do think it'll happen, but I can't tell you when. But I can tell you this, you know, Mike Patton's the singer of Faith No More, and I feel like it's made me feel a little weird going back to do something that he's not involved in. It makes me a little uncomfortable, because he's the guy, man. He's so important. He is the face of this band. You know what I mean? So for us, you know, we're doing this now, and I think it's important to, as I said, to get kind of, you know, the people that are interested, to show them sort of where we came from. But as far as where we're going, it's the lineup that you saw last on, you know, on stage, you know, in Rock in Rio and wherever else. You know, that hasn't changed, and that's not going to change. So what we do in the future, I'm not sure, but we're going to do something. I believe that. I do. I really do. I believe that. But I can't tell you what, because I don't know.
Awesome.
Stay tuned.
Awesome. And so last but not least, do you want to leave a message for the Brazilian fans?
You know, I talked to somebody else just a second ago that was also Brazilian, and I don't want to feel like I'm saying the same thing, but, you know, when I thought about talking to people in Brazil, I saw this last night that I was going to talk to people. It's really important to me to say that experience that we did at just the very last Rock in Rio that we did, it was really amazing to me, because it was 25 years or whatever, 30 years, whatever it was, after we'd done the one with Guns N' Roses and Billy Idol. And now we're here playing with, you know, it was Slipknot was the headliner of our night, and all these younger bands, and for us to be welcomed back by the people that were at that show. Maybe there were some people that were at the first one with Guns N' Roses. Maybe it's their children now. You know what I mean? Maybe it's their children coming to the show. For us to be welcomed, you know, there with younger bands like that, it really meant a lot to me. And I want to say, really from the bottom of my heart to the people there, thank you for doing that. Thank you for keeping us in your heart, you know, where there's, you know, modern bands now. My God, how many, you know, what's going on in the world, whether it's hip-hop or, you know, something like Avenged Sevenfold or Slipknot, you know, the kind of the ultra-heavy stuff, you know, to keep, you know, us in their heart and give us, you know, the love that they gave us. It's amazing, and it's a huge gift. And I really, really want to say, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for that. That's my message. That means everything to me. you know, and the fact that our singer didn't paralyze and cripple himself and die, jumping. Oh my God, he was hurt. He was hurt. And, but it's special. It's a special place. It's always been special to us. And to be able to be welcomed like that when it wasn't our show, it was, it was clearly Slipknot's show, and it should be, because they're one of the biggest bands in the world right now. That's fine. But wow, so that's really what I want to say is thank you. Really from the bottom of my heart, thank you. That's what I got.
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. You're
very welcome. And I really do mean that. I mean, it's like they didn't have to do that. They could have said, hey, we're waiting for Slipknot. Hurry up and finish, Because we're nothing, you know what I mean? We're nothing like Slipknot. I mean, that's what I'm trying to say is to take a chance and really give their attention and their support to something that's just weird and different, than that. It means everything. It really means a lot. So, yeah, but no, so it's my pleasure to talk to you, and thank you for being patient with me.
Oh, no problem. Thank you so much for the interview. It was a pleasure.
Awesome. Okay, awesome. So have a great day, and take care. We'll see you soon.
You too. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.